Listen, all joking aside, I do want to say I saw firsthand how talented hair and makeup people are. And the Irishman, they would transform us every day. I would just sit there and be amazed. And then Pesci would come in and say, "Get the out of my chair, Deborah."
I think they're going to bleep that. Not everything is Netflix, Ray.
Sorry.
Yeah.
The bad boy of the Oscars, you guys.
The bad boy.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No, he's there. He's there. What if he hung up to be a real bad boy?
Hey, Ray Romano.
Hey, effer.
Now, did Dave warn you before you came on that you can't be all willy-nilly cussing?
Yeah, but they warned me at the Oscars, too.
Listen.
Unpredictable Ray Romano.
We want to know the thought process that went into finally saying that word, because you would only do that if you thought it was the funniest punchline, right?
Well, the thought process was about a week of stress and anxiety and driving my wife crazy, because that's how I do anything anyway. But it was just I was so happy when it was over.
Because you didn't know how it was going to be received?
Well, yeah, first of all, they gave us some copy. First of all, when I found out I'm presenting, that was nerve-wracking. And then I knew, and it was like kind of a great thing, but then I knew this is a week and a half of work right now because I'm going to have to be funny, say something funny, and they're going to write stuff, and it's okay, but it's not, and they wrote stuff, and I just said, okay, I got to come up with something, and then I email all my guys, my boys, and I'm like, help me, and one of my ex-writer friends came up with the idea of...
Dude, you can't say it.
Ray Romano.
I'm sorry. Oh, that was for real.
Yeah, we know. What's wrong with you?
Ray Romano works blue. No one can stop him. He's the Sam Kinison of our generation.
We got a delay. We're good.
All right.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I was at the Madonna party last night. No, I wasn't. I was at the Vanity Fair. But they came up with it.
Can't control this man.
Yeah. Vanity Fair. He wants everyone to know that. I love you, Ray Romano.
No, I wish I was at the Madonna. I would have bragged about that. Yeah. So then I had to work it in, and I said, "Oh, that's kind of funny." I called Joe Pesci and I told him about it because I know him from my golf course. I said I want to get a clearance first from Joe. And I did that, and then I had to work the opening bit, and I mean, it was to the point where, like, I don't know how much you remember about the bit, but she comes out and says that line about hair and makeup being so important to film.
Yes.
Case in point, and she goes, "I'm 87 years old," and I had written at 87 years old, and she changed it to 92, and I was obsessing over that.
No, you weren't.
87 is
because
funnier,
92
Ray.
is, first of all, 90, if you make it too old, like if you say, case in point, I'm going to exaggerate, I'm 200 years old.
Right.
It's not funny.
Not funny.
Like, it's goofy. And then if you can't make it too young, you can't say I'm 61 years old. So what's the number? And I thought 87 was right on the line. And some reason 92 felt you're taking a little bit away from it. And
You were upset about her changing it 5 years.
yes, and also 87 has an extra syllable to it. It has more meat on it, And right, I didn't want to, I love, she's lovely.
Of course.
And she was very good. But I didn't want to get in her head. But as we were standing in the stage there, ready to go, I said, I got to give it one try. And I threw 87 at her again. She had 92 written on the prompter.
Really? Yeah.
And I go, I think it's a little funny. and she, I couldn't tell, if she was going to do it or not. And she said it a couple times. She goes, I go, yeah, well, feel it out. And,
As they're walking on stage.
yeah, and she did 87. And then it was, what name do I say? Because I'm supposed to say, I'm Charlize Theron.
Yes.
First of all, the original one we had was Margot Robbie, and I'm Margot Robbie, and that just has a funny sound to it. But then Margot Robbie was up for an award before us, so I said, "Oh, we were already going to have heard the word."
This is the
Margot
kind of
Robbie.
torture that Ray goes through for a 8-second bit.
I'm telling you, it's when I've presented before on the Emmys and whatever, and it's like hours of work, 100 hours of work, and and this is the Oscars, you know.
Right.
But Margot Robbie, so anyway, the name came up before, so I went, Gal Gadot. That's a funny sound, and she's in the audience. And then I thought, Gal Gadot. I'll pronounce it wrong, Gal Gadot. And then people were telling me, no, it's blah, blah, blah. And then Charlize Theron. And by the way, you can pronounce Charlize Theron. It's Theron, not Theron. And I thought, well, you know, because she did go through a transformation in Bombshell, you know. She to make her look like Megyn Kelly. So it would kind of be funny. And
it was
just
funny.
So
they cut to her. It was funny.
Sounds like torture.
It does, yeah.
And then the F-bomb. You know, originally we wrote it as "Get your ass out of my chair" because that's how the Academy wouldn't allow us to say the F-bomb. So that's what was on the prompter, and she had those lines after. You know, this is not
Netflix.
This is not Netflix,
yeah.
right? And that doesn't work if I say "Get your ass out of my chair."
Yeah, you can
and
say
so
that.
she said. So we had. She goes, "Are you going to say it?" And I go, "I'm going to feel it out," you know. And
so you didn't even know when you walked out there. You didn't know you were going to say it.
No, because I figured if the first line didn't get a laugh, if me saying I'm Charlize Theron didn't get a laugh, then I shouldn't push it and say then I'm trying too hard with the F-bomb. And so the first line got a laugh, and I said, all right, let's do it. By the way, do you know in Australia they don't bleep it? Like someone sent me.
Oh yeah.
Someone
footage.
sent me the clip from Australia because they don't bleep in Australia, so it got out there in Australia.
Good times.
I was going to ask you if you've seen it because Sandra Oh's reaction it's amazing. It's so good, Ray.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen it. Yeah. Why? It looks. Did she look startled?
Yes, absolutely.
Of course.
Well, that's how good an actress she is. Yeah.
So Ray, what happens when you go backstage? Like, what do people? Do you get reprimanded?
Well, I was all over that. I called. By the way, I called my agent and I called my publicist and I go, "You sure?" And they go, "Yeah, why not? They'll believe it." And I go, "What about backstage after? Is someone going to grab me by the collar and what are you
Throw
doing?
you out?
The FCC.
Am I going to get somebody fired? You know?" And no, they were. You know, they're so busy. I'm over there and they're ushering Elton John somewhere, you know, or whatever. They don't even. No one even kind of heard it probably at that moment because they're so busy doing everything else.
Well, Ray, I'd like to say that you putting that much work into it, I wish everyone did.
Same.
I wish everybody that came out there put that much work into it.
Because award show patter is disgusting.
Yes.
Well, but everyone, you know, when they get an actor to present, you know, comedy isn't what they made their living on, and they just do what's written out there. But look at like I saw Kristen Wiig backstage, and afterwards, and we talked about it. And, you know, her and, I don't know how much you saw of
Maya Rudolph,
yeah, they did a whole bit. Yeah. And they had to come up with that, and they had to plan that and figure it out because, you know, they're comedians, and yeah, it's what they do. So but a dramatic actor, you know, he doesn't have time to spend a week on it like I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Ray, I know you're not on social media, so I know you wouldn't know about this, but on Twitter last night, you blew up the social media app. People were very into you. You've become a bit of a sex symbol.
Yeah, there was.
Do you know this?
Romano
Do you know this is a thing? You're a thirst trap.
I saw my kid sent me one that says from Vulture that says. Romano shocked the Oscars with his hotness and his F-bomb. I sent them a picture of me from a couple of days ago. I guess they didn't see this picture, you know, me in my underwear with my little gut sticking out.
Ray, I've got to read this one to you. This is a man named Chase Mitchell who said, funny story about Ray Romano. I worked with him on a bit at The Tonight Show 5 years ago. He showed up in a leather jacket, and every single woman on staff was like, God damn. I guess I'd do Ray Romano.
What the heck?
But then, Ray, there's a response from someone you know and we know, a friend of the show, who you worked on a movie called The Big Sick with. And she wrote, while we were filming The Big Sick, I would take photos of the monitors every time Romano looked hot. I have a lot of photos. Is
that Kumail's wife?
It's Emily. And she said, I'm only saying this because he's not on social media.
Let me tell you what this is.
Yeah.
This is the goofy guy who for a split second doesn't look as goofy. That's all it is.
Ray.
No, but nobody's
Listen,
saying that about.
You can't fight the heat.
Yeah,
No.
you can't
Yeah.
contain your hotness, Ray.
Let me tell you something. Last night, when Jake Gyllenhaal was talking to my wife, it was like I didn't exist.
Of course.
You know? Yeah, people would come by and say hello to me, and I would say, "Listen, I'd introduce you to my wife, but as of now, no one else is in the room except her and Jake Gyllenhaal." You know.
Well,
Listen, we're
He's
just
just
saying
being
that-
humble.
We're just saying that you're incredibly hot. That's our point.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. If you saw me now, I'm
We don't
pacing
wanna
in my
see you now.
baggy underwear right now
Nope.
in my closet.
Well,
Thirst trap Ray
By the way, I
Romano.
almost didn't. I was telling the day before, I was at the Oscars, and I was at Pebble Beach Pro-Am.
Yeah.
You know, this is the week of the Pebble Beach Pro-Am, and I don't know how much you know about it.
You
but
must
if
have not
make
made
the cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you make the cut, you play on Sunday,
Right.
and this is the biggest week of my life for the Pebble Beach. I wait for it all year, and my wife, you know, is so excited. She's going to the Oscars. She got the dress. She got everything. She goes, "If you make the cut, you cannot play on Sunday." And I said,
Has she met you?
That's what I said. That goes against everything I live for. And she had the whammy on me, and you know, I would have had to play the last
on.
round in my tux and then jump on the plane. But
You're saying you didn't make the cut because she had a whammy on you?
that's part of it. Yeah. Part of it. I suck too in golf, but she was rooting against me. She
Well.
would text my kids every hour. She goes, "How's Dad doing?" She says, "He's behind pace," and she'd give like a thumbs up emoji.
Did she know you were going to be the bad boy of the Oscars?
I know now.
Oh my God! You think I wasn't obsessing all week about it? You know, she didn't care. She was trying to get her shoes and the glam squad over. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Well, congrats, Ray Romano.
Ray,
What a
you're the
night.
best. Thank you for calling. We appreciate it, and thanks for using the F word on our air as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I gotta get. It's in my. I may be the guy now. That may be my thing.
Yeah, you're like Dice Clay now.
You have to say it everywhere you go.
Oh God! All right. Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Ray.
I appreciate it.
Bye now.